Me again. So today we are learning about personal narratives. So we learned about personal narratives when the year first began. So what is a personal narrative? A personal narrative is a story about you. You are the main character in this story. And every personal narrative has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And mostly the best personal narratives always explain how you change, because that's the real purpose of a story, is to talk about growth. So it will give your personal narrative a theme if you add how you changed. So a personal narrative also has a hook. It's a catchy hook that can be a question, it can be a fact, it can be something funny, it could be an onomatopoeia, it could be a quote. Personal narratives also show a lot of emotion, and that's because it's about you. So, the best personal narratives have a lot of emotion attached to them. And I don't just mean telling me the girl was sad. No, I want you to tell me something like the girl hung her head in sadness. The point of a personal narrative is that you use vivid details, and those are details that they make my senses come alive, and I can smell and taste and feel and hear the setting, or I can do all of those things and tell how the character is feeling. And also, finally, a good personal narrative balances action and dialogue. So I know that we love to add dialogue to our personal narratives. So we need to make sure that there is a nice little balance between the action and the dialogue, and it can't be all one or the other. It can't be all dialogue and it can't be all action. So the most important thing about a personal narrative is that it's an itty bitty, teeny tiny, small moment. And what do I mean by that? So I want you, the kids who weren't with me since the beginning of the year, to picture. I want you to picture a big, gigantic, heavy green watermelon. Okay, that whole watermelon is like the whole trip. So if you want to talk about your vacation on a personal narrative, that whole trip is the whole watermelon. That's too much to fit into one story if you want it to be very meaningful. Now, the slice of a watermelon, it's kind of like the day. So a slice could be the day that you went hiking when you went on your trip to Hawaii. That can still be a lot of information for one personal narrative. When I ask you for a personal narrative and I'm looking for a small moment, what I want is a teeny tiny little watermelon seed, because that is the big moment. And so I know you might be thinking, but Miss Alejos, how do I write a whole story on one little tiny watermelon seed? Well, I want you to explode each moment with details. I want you to write using the rules of grammar, like preposition and adjectives. Use those things to add details and to really paint a picture for your readers. Well, I can't wait to read some of your personal narratives later on. In the rest of this infographic, you're going to see all of the elements of personal narrative that I finished telling you about, like the hook, the emotion, the vivid details. So I want you to use this infographic like an educational tool. I want it to be a tool that you can refer back to when you are going to be writing your own personal narrative. You might see that I put a little dot by each little element, like by the hook, I think it is pink. By the small moment, I put green. And that I'm going to use later on when I model a personal narrative for you. I'm going to highlight it with those colors. So, I love you guys very much, and I miss you guys so much, and I really hope you guys have fun writing these personal narratives, because you guys are amazing writers. I love you. Bye.